It is a bit late compared to my usual live stream, but the show must go on and I still need to get this done. So yesterday I spoke about how, the process of me starting my part of the business, how long it took, and all of the good stuff, right? And now I want to talk about how I ended it. What caused me to end it, what was the decision making process, and how was that mentally, and just the overall process of me deciding to say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and close this business. So if you are new here, first time seeing my video, like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section if you have any questions. And yeah, that's it. Let's begin. So where I left off, I think in the last story time when I was talking about me starting a business, I was talking about making sales. Oh, 2021, I think it was, because 2020, is when, I was talking about how sales had slowed down in 2020, and I still pushed through even when we were on lockdown. I pushed through, made some sales. I even pushed through to when the world was open up again and we were able to do pop-ups, right? I was able to do pop-ups during that time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to push through, I'm gonna make it work, I'm not gonna make this stop, I'm gonna just continue going, right? So did that, in the summer. Oh, my mic. Thanks for telling me. Where is it? Where am I?
Found it. My mic was not on me, and I don't think I could start over. Maybe in the editing process, I'll take that first part out. How about no? Like I would have sat here and just talked for a good hour, and not realize say when you can't hear me. Thanks for letting me know, Eric. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. So I think I'm going to start over since I'm gonna have to edit this out anyways. All right. So what I was saying in the beginning is that I am picking up from where I was doing yesterday. I did a story time about the process of me starting the business, me basically starting the business overall, what was the thought process behind it, and the steps that it took, and how many years it took me to finally actually, to take the leap and start. So I was like, okay, now that I did that, I can share with you guys why I decided to close it as well, like what led to the decision of me deciding to close the business and the thought process and mentally, and what that process was like and why I had to do it. So it was the end of that story. I left off at 2020. We were on lockdown and I was still making some sales here and there, right? And I was like, all right, cool. But even within that moment, I still had this feeling like, I remember one day I was sitting there at one of my pop ups and I was like, so is this it? Like, where do I go from here? Like, do I want to do this commercial? Do I want to, you know, get in stores? Do I want to? I remember one of my cousins had said that time to me one time, soon enough we're going to see it in stores. And when he said that, I was like, yeah, that's good. But I wasn't as excited about that idea. Like, I don't know if that's where I wanted to take it. I was also, this was even during the time of me making sales still and still going to pop-ups. Even during that time I was still second guessing if I still wanted to do this. If I started to think about long term, what's going to happen long term. I started to think about if this is something that I can see myself doing long term. Where will I be, few years from now, if I'm gonna see like there are so many thoughts going through my mind. And I think at that point in time, usually when I have those thoughts, when I have those thoughts, as with anything I'm doing, not just business, I start to, that's when I know I need a change. That's when I know things are going to change. That's when I know I'm going to do something different. That's when I know I'm going to switch up stuff, something drastic. Either I'm ending a phase in my life or I'm about to start a new phase, but I just know that something drastic is about to happen, like a change is about to happen, and I just don't know it yet, but my body kind of feel the change coming before I do. So yeah, you know, we're off of, so let's take us back to us being off of lockdown. Now I'm in, you know, at my pop-ups, and at the pop-ups you still have to have on your, you know, you have to have on your mask at the pop-ups and everything. So I'm doing it, you know, summertime come 2021, and I'm like, all right, it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, I know businesses aren't supposed to be profitable like right away off the back, but for me, after a while, I was like, okay, hi, everyone that's here. Thanks for being here. But for me, after a while, I was like, all right, you know, this is doing what it's supposed to be do, but what next? Like for the entire year, I don't know if it was the whole 2020, I don't know if it was just life overall, but my entire mind was like, all right, what next? Where do I go? You know, where do I go with this? What do I do next? How do I go forward? Like, how do I change it up, right? How do I increase my income, increase sales, or do I not do this anymore? And then there was summer of 2020, and I was like, damn, I don't know if this is something that I want to do forever. Like, I liked doing it, I had passion for it, but when it turned into a business, I felt like I was losing the passion for it. That, and sometimes I would have to get up and make stuff, and it was like a chore to me. It was more like, oh my gosh, I have to do this, I have to make this today. Like, I just never want to do it. There's like a whole bunch of resistance. Like, it was to the point that sometimes I'm just like, all right, I guess this is what I have to do now. Like, I'm just going to go ahead and do this just because that's what I have to do. It was like, all right, maybe just do this just because that's what's happening right now. So maybe just do this, and you know, make it work because that's what's going on right now. So it was a lot of mental thoughts before leading up to me actually closing it. And then I was also doing wholesale at the time. I think I was doing wholesale for one or two people, not a lot, but it was still good. So I was doing wholesale, like I was doing, you know, little things here and there. I was selling online, but deep down inside of me, I felt like my product weren't doing as well. Like, the customers loved them, but I felt like income wise, I kind of felt like at the moment that I should have been making a little bit more. And then because I had other mental stuff going on and just things going on in the background, I couldn't focus on it. That's why I think that's what I'm saying. The environment is very important when you're trying to do things, when you're trying to, you know, succeed and just try new things. The environment is important, and just mentally everything plays a role in it, because during that time, mentally, there was just other things that I was like, oh, this are gone. Plus, I still have to focus on making this business boom in a way that I wanted it to boom. So it was very much, it wasn't like overnight. It wasn't an overnight decision. I literally sat on it for months, for a whole year before I was actually like, okay, this might be it. But anyway, so the summertime come now, and you know, kids are still at home. I'm wondering if my son did start school yet. He probably did, but yeah, he did. So anyways, you know, baby girl's still at home, and you know, I'm taking her to my pop-ups, and every day, you know, I make the products, may I ship off, like I'm shipping off what I need to ship off. I'm making the products, and then 1 month I'll be 1 month I'll be going hard on like Instagram to try to get my sales up, just going hard. And then the next month I'll just be out of it. Next month I'll be like, okay, I don't know if I want to do this. I don't know if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. I started to just think about life. That's what happened. Like the next month I'll just start thinking about life and considering, okay, maybe I need to be making plans to do other stuff. You know, maybe I need to figure out if this is something that I can see myself doing the long term. Maybe I need to start selling some other stuff. Like, it was just a lot. And I took the entire summer to do this. Like the whole summertime, I'm popping up. I'm going back and forth. It was to the point that I would pack up my stuff to go to the market, and I would be like, you know, it's nice to be here. Like, I was just going to the pop-up just to get out of the house. At one point, that's what it was. I was like, okay, I'm going to sell some products, but I really just want to get out of the house today because most of the time I was in house. You're, stay at home mom, so most of the time in the yard. So I was like, I just do this for come out of the house and go to the market and do my pop up. Yeah, it was 2021, and I was packing up my stuff, getting together, back and forth. Even days when I feel like I couldn't, right? It was days when I feel like I just can't, like it just never feel good. But my member, no, not I'm saying 2021, guys. It was 2020. Sorry, I kept saying 2021. So everything that I was talking about, it was 2020. So it was 2020 summer, and I kept packing my stuff and going. And I remember the last time I had a feeling about closing the business or just quitting the pop-up overall was 2019 December. That was the last time we had like a normal, like if I had known that would have been the last time we would have whatever we considered to be normal in just life overall, like me that probably would have enjoyed it a little more. But I can literally remember that last moment in 2019, and I was at the market. I think I was at a new moon market, and I just started, like, I just felt, first of all, I didn't make no sales at that market. That's number one or two sales I made. And then number three, I was just out of it. Like I was just, if I feel like I was just thinking about everything that could and can go wrong, or I was just thinking about my future overall. So mentally, I was, my body was like, okay, what are we going to do for us? Keep in mind, still making products. And then some of our products them did start, I met the products them, but some of my shipments them did delayed. And thanks for the compliments. And I was like, this again. And then I just start make products. Sometimes I would make the products and it never come out good. Remember, I did a wholesale. I did a wholesale you know, mix. I did a wholesale. Sorry, I did a wholesale order, and I made it, and I was, first of all, I was so out of it mentally, and then even after I make it, I'm a pocket up and everything. Something in my mind tell me say I needed to let that product sit more before my pour it out in a, the container. Like I needed it to solidify more. I needed it to solidify, right? Anywho, I went, like we didn't need to solidify more. Anywho, I did the was took the order, created the products and sold them. And then, they reached out to me and tell me what is wrong. And exactly what was wrong is what me to kind of figure out that happened because of me like rushing through it, not letting it sit for as long. Like it need at least 24 hours to sit. But then because I procrastinated, I waited so long and everything, we never have the full 24 hours to make it sit because it was a lot of lotion I was making, right? So I was like, okay, that happened, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make the entire thing over. And after that entire thing, I don't think the person to reach out back to me to the wholesale again, which is understandable. I wouldn't either. And I didn't want to do any more wholesale orders because I was on the verge of quitting. And it's like I was at a point where I want to quit, but I also need to make money as well. So that's why everything, like my business is like everything that pulled me in a couple different direction. Like, do I stay so I can make sure, sorry, do I stay so I can, make sure I have this, little income coming in, or do I leave? But when I really checked it out and I was like paying attention to the income, it was like, is it worth it? Like, yeah, it was some type of money, but it was like, yeah, I can do something else. Like I don't have to keep doing this. So closer towards the end now, this is the end of 2021. I was like, you know what? This might be my last market. This might be my last pop-up, especially in that location. I was like, this is going to be my last. And not December, before December, the store that I was popping up in, you know, they made it known, like they tell me that, hey, they're going to give up the spot that they're in. And I was like, yeah, that was my confirmation, because technically I could come out, I could have, even though the store did close, I could have popped up in the middle still. But it was like I would have only been making rent to pay. Yet that's what I would only make. I probably only make the rent to pay for the pop-up. So it's like that don't make no sense to me. So I'm not gonna do that. So that's why I was like, all right, I'll just when them closed, that was my sign, like, all right, the push for me for just wrap it up and come out. So I was there all the way until the last, and after that last, I was like, that was it for me. Like I gave them the message and I was let them know that I am going to stop doing pop-ups. I let the owner, the supervisor of the area, actually, not the store but like the market itself, and I was like, hey, this is going to be my last few run. Paid my rent for my cubby because I had a storage, paid for my storage, and I said, yeah, this is it. And then all my stuff was there one day. Went in. They didn't start packing up yet because I was going to leave first. December come, we do everything we need to do in December with upon break. And then January I went there back to the pop-up to do something. I don't remember what I went there to do. But all I know is that I remember when we got there for that, I think I went there to go pick up something along that line. And honestly, I just said, you know what? Where may I stretch this out for? Because the last day, I said my goodbyes and everything to the owner and everything. And I was just like, this is it. Like I was trying to draw it. I was trying to draw it out for some reason, And I feel like I have attachment issues because I was trying to draw it out to just try to, but I don't know, see how long we can stay there. I was attached. I was going through it mentally, maybe kind of sad because I feel like, say, I gave up. I feel like failing. I feel like it failed. I feel like I was a failure. I feel like there's so much things that I felt, right? I felt like this failed. And at the same time, I can look back now and think that even during that time where I was saying, oh, the business failed, I feel like I had some other worries that added to that as well. So even though, yes, me that close the business, but I had some other worries going on that it just never feasible for me. Everything else that was going on in my head, it just wasn't working with what I was trying to do with the business at the time. And then for the simple fact that I wasn't making as much funds that I would like to make, not any fault of the body, because and then also I was seeing so many other people start body butter business and their body butter business was just kicking off. I was just like, what am I doing wrong? And then sometimes I would be like, them not even a make like the products them close to what me I make, but their business was like booming, booming, booming. Like it just did a take off, and I'm like, and I was like, what may I do wrong? Like, what could I change? Like, why it now work for me? Like, why it work for everybody else will come on the scene after me? Of course, the one them before me I do well. But what about the one them come after me? The one them come before, well, before me school, but after me. And I see a couple of them take off in a few months and them I make this amount of dollar, thousands of dollar. And I'm just like, what am I doing wrong? And for some reason, instead of use it as an opportunity to be like mega go harder for me, what me did mentally, my brain was like, you know what, pack it up. My brain was like, pack it up, pack it up, pack it up, and just call it a day because I was overwhelmed. I was losing passion. I didn't want to create products anymore. Like, let me tell you how bad it was. I started to look for companies that I could give my formulation to and have them make my products for me and then I sell it. I didn't want to do the manual labor anymore. And that's what a lot of people forget, that this industry or these products, they are, the manual labor, it requires a lot of manual labor. It's not just quick 1 2. It's a lot of manual labor to get what you need and to get the results what you want. And it's a lot of manual labor constantly. It's not like, oh, they do some manual labor now and then boom, it's done. It's manual labor back to back unless you hire people. That's what will help if you hire people. But you're just starting out, what kind of hire you gonna hire people? You literally have to use what you have. What are you going to hire people and do? So Me, I just wanted somebody to give them my formula, and I wanted them to make it for me. I was like, okay, let me give these people my formula and have them make my products for me. That was my big idea. However, if it's not Rona over at the east west, not over way in our international country, the local one them never did I go on with nothing. Most of the time, I think one time I thought I found one, right? And I'm like, yeah man, I find one. After a few months, I can't find the people them again. Up to this day, I don't know if the company closed down. I don't know if they stopped making products. I don't know if they closed. I don't know what happened to them. They had a Facebook group and everything. And up to this day, I just know, sir, them disappear off of the face of the earth. And I see them again after that. So I was like, okay, there's nobody that I can pay to make these for me. And may I say, all right, maybe we need to save up more money so we can get much. Financially, it never did I work either. I just did a break even and make enough money for basically buy more ingredients for create more products. And if I priced the body butters higher, it will be above the market rate and I'm not gonna get no sales for that. So it was like my finances weren't matching the effort that I was putting in at the time. So, and then for doing it for such a while, Manala said it was probably like 2 years. And I just had things that I had purchased for the business. I was pumping back into the business, but the sales never did a pick up for me how I would want it to pick up. That's really what it is. It just never did a pick up in that way. And I was like, it wasn't picking up in that way. And then having to constantly do the labor, that's when I realized my form of entrepreneurship. Yes, it has to do with labor, but after a while, I need to be able to scale it and not have that much labor, if that makes sense. I need to be able to scale it and outsource parts of my business. So me need to be able to, all right, you do this. That's why me doing this channel, because when I say I close it and I say, damn, I want to close it, but I don't want to close it completely. I want to close it and start, selling digital products for other people, because I feel like there's people that are going to be there that are going to always want to create body butters, like body butter business or something like that. People are constantly gonna create until they put some regulations and tell us like, hey, you can't do that anymore. But until then, body butter business, a business where people always create. So I was like, maybe I can sell some digital products surrounding this industry. And I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do that. I sell some digital products around this industry and see what can go on with that. But even closing it, you see, my last day I leave the market on a pop-up. Remember, leaving the pop-up didn't mean I had to close my business. I could have left the pop-up and just decide, say, you know what? I'm gonna just sell online. And I did that for like 1 month after I closed. And then a month after that, or a few days after that, I was like, you know what, no, make a post and I said, hey, unfortunately, we won't be in the market anymore, but we are also closing the business. And all of my customers, my returning customers, my main customers, they just bought out my inventory. And yeah, they just bought out the remainder of I sent an email out. They bought the remainder of my inventory. And that was it. And I could have kept selling from my home, but I didn't, because after my tell us, there's so much shame did around it too. After I close it, all of my stuff, they were packed up in a corner for months. Okay, not 1 month, not 2 months. Like I literally packed them in a corner for months before I eventually let them go. Like they were just there sitting down, because it's like I couldn't even look at them. Like I was still processing the whole situation. Like I was still processing closing, I was still processing starting and having to close. Like I was still processing all of that. So I had it just sit there for an entire month. Not even a month, months. I'm gonna correct myself. I had it sit there for months before I was like, in order for me to heal, I can't just have this here right here. Like I have to in order for me to heal, I am going to have to get rid of these stuff. So some of the stuff I kept because I never used them. Like me just order like jars and bottles, glass bottles. Up to this day, I still have glass jars, glass bottles sitting there. Like I still have a bunch of them just sitting there. Don't know what to do with them because it's so much. Like, what am I gonna do with all of this? But I don't want to throw them away. Cause I'm gonna pay money for them, and our next company can use them. It's just to find the company who would want it. Yeah, it's just to find them. That would be it. But yeah, so I don't. I what did I say? I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I was saying, I had the jars, I had all of that. And I just went out there. I kept those stuff. And then the other stuff that I didn't need to keep, I was like the actual fixtures of me doing the pop-up. Girl, me tell them just call the city and tell them so the next pickup day I have a bulk pickup, and I put out all of my fixtures to do my pop-up. The only thing I kept was the table and the tablecloth. But when it concerned my bulk pickup, I did the fixtures because I had a stand to put my things on. So I had the fixtures, I had the fixtures for my table, the glass, all of those stuff for my pop-up. I called the city and I said, listen, I have a bulk pickup, and I just put them right on the curb. I put everything on the curb because I just had to do it all at once. I had to do it all at once because if I kept it, like every time I look upon it, every time I would go down in the garage and I look at it, it's like me just get all over again. Like me just get irritated and just kind of get miserable all over again. So I was like, yeah, man, a time for me to put it out. I this time for it to come out, and that's what I did. I put it on the curb and they got rid of that. Now that is just a one set of my stuff for my products, right? The next set of things that I had was I had so much raw ingredients. I have a video of me decluttering all those stuff. All right. I had two big garbage bags when I decluttered them because after that day, I never touched any of my products. Okay? Nothing. I didn't make anything, the lotion, the serum. When I say, like, I don't know if it's because of the shame or just how I felt about the whole situation, I didn't touch it at all. I didn't even look at it. Everything in there went bad. Like when I say I'm not touch nothing, it was like out of mind, out of sight. Find something else to do with life. I didn't pay attention to it at all. I just left it there until I think it was like a year later. I was like, I need to declutter and just start getting rid of stuff. Because what am I holding this? First of all, I can't use it to do anything because most of those stuff are old. Them in there for so long, them expire. So I was like, most of these things are old anyways. So what am I keeping it for and who am I keeping it for? And that was like a big girl leap for me because that's not something with me normally do. Usually, me hold on to it till thy kingdom come. And then after that, I decide like, all right, maybe I'll get rid of it. But no, this time I was like, all right, make me put it out because I can't hold on to it too more. And then I ended up doing a video of me decluttering and tossing out all of my ingredients, all essential oils, all the butters. Yes, some of these butters went bad. Oil went bad. As you open it up, you can smell say it rancid because when I tell you I'm not touch nothing, I'm not touch nothing at all. Because to me it was out of mind, out of sight. So I ended up tossing everything. So I ended up tossing every and anything that you think of in there. Anything with it in there, I end up just dash for everything. Like I couldn't do it no more. I mean, up just pack up all of the spoiled things and the only things I kept was, my machines. I still have my machines, my pots, things like that. Some of my tools, I still have my tools. And I'm glad I kept some of the tools because now what happened when I did that and I cleared out that, I was making different videos on my YouTube channel because my idea was I'm going to go digital. And from me going digital, I will be able to no longer have to continuously make products. I can help people to make their own products and I can monetize that way. So I was like, all right, this is where I'm at. That make it do. So I didn't start actually doing tutorials. What I did was I just started to dish out all of the industry secrets. I started to dish out all the industry secrets. I started to share all of my tips, my tricks. I was like, let me just give them everything. Give them everything women know. Let the world know about everything. So I just started to make a whole bunch of videos. Well, was it a whole bunch? Good amount of videos. And then I just started to share all my insights. And I was like, okay, I can do this. This can work. But to show you how much I didn't want to make products anymore, even though I knew that doing tutorials would grow my channel, I didn't do a tutorial until 2022. 2022 or 2023, I think, was the first time I did an actual DIY skincare tutorial. And that is all because I didn't want to touch products and creating products ever again. Like I was like, I'm done, I don't want to do this no more. Like I just never want to touch products no more. Just the idea of having to touch products and create stuff. Thank you, Eric. Just the idea of me having to touch products and create stuff just kind of threw me off. So I was like, I don't think I want to do this again. I don't think I want to have to create no more products. And in 2020, I think it was 2023 roll around, and I was trying to figure out on ways how to improve my watch hours, because the watch hours never did I give what I normally give. So I was like, all right, cool. I know what I'm gonna do. Mega look up some stuff, and of course what came up, a bunch of body butter tutorials. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, but body butter there, I have some oil, I'm gonna need to grow the channel. So I was like, all right, cool. And then I made my first body butter tutorial, which did pretty well. Yeah, it did really well. And I was able, at that point, I was like, okay, I can do more of this. But even then, I still not do only part. I do my PayPal, which me I go continue to do. I probably do a video on that soon. But I did my card reader. And I was like, all right, we can do this one. We can do the DIY body butter thing in and out, in and out. Up to this day, sometime when I have to do the body butter them, I'm just like, ooh. Just because to me, when I make it now, sometimes like when I say, I'll say no, it's a bit better. But like right after making that video in 2023, I was still like, ugh, I don't really want to have to do this, but I have to do it, so I'm going to do it. So for me, I was like, all right, cool. Let me just bite the bullets. And I just made another tutorial. And then one thing lead to the next, me just start make tutorial, and let me just keep making them to help towards my channel. That was the idea behind it. I was like, I need to do this to help, put towards, to make, make my channel pop off how it needs to pop off. So I decided that I took a break again, because I think that time I went to Jamaica and I had to take a break. I did one video while I was in Jamaica. I think it was, yeah, one video while I'm there in Jamaica, and that was it. And I think I did two videos before, and that was it. And then I just break the whole time. But while I'm there in Jamaica, me hit muscle 1,000 subscribers. That's a 2022 or 23. 2022, I hit the 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, all right, cool. I made it to the threshold. So I am going to keep at it. I'm not going to give up. Break 1,000 subscribers. And even in that moment, people were still asking me like, hey, do you make products anymore? Do you still sell them? And I was like, I was tempted to, so I can make the money from it. But I was like, I am done with that era of my life. I was like, in my head to myself, I was like, yeah, that era, that point, that where I was mentally, I'm done with that. I am not going back there, as much as sometimes it's very tempting to start making products again. But as of right now, I'm not in that era to make body butter for sale anymore, but I will make it for myself. I would make it for my family. I will make it, for the people that are around me. I'll make it for them. That's where I'm at right now. But to make it for sale, I'm not there anymore. I don't think I could ever go back to that. I don't know. As of right now, no. Never say never, but as of right now, no. So for me, it's just this channel. This is what I was like, all right, let me just, help people grow their body butter business, or not even grow, but help them make it, because if one thing I'm sure that I can do is make it, because I got the reviews, like genuine customers loving it, wanting back my face serum that I used to make, like so much reviews. So I was like, I can help. Well, I can help when I make them, and I can sell my recipe formulas. So that's what I ended up doing. I was like, all right, let me just sell my formulas and sell some of my Excel sheets and stuff that I use, the processes that I use to help in my body butter business. So that's what I ended up doing, and it kind of worked for me. For the most part, I'm gonna have no whole heap of complaints. For the most part, it worked, but closing it took a toll. It did. Closing took a toll, but my rise up after it, and I did what I had to do. It's something we didn't want to do for a long time, and maybe that wasn't my end goal. Maybe that's not where it concerned business for me. Maybe that's not the direction we didn't need to go in. But I needed to do that, and some myself know say it's possible for me to do this while I'm here, and that's why when I do this now, I was like, why am I taking so long to do this? I can do this. All I need to do is just put the time behind it, like where, like put the time, like the proof is in the pudding. Everything that you need to do is right there. I'm going to put my time into it and do what I need to do to get monetized on this, and still sell my digital products and take it from there. Don't think I'm going to close this one though, but that's the goal here. So I think that wrap up the story of that. So anybody, if you're here passing by, you can like the video, you can say hi. If you have any questions, you can ask questions, and feel free to answer any one of them you might want me to answer. Like, I'll be here to answer that. But if not, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. For everybody who would hop on or hop off, I appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Until next time, bye. Oh, I still think I have to cut down this video a little bit, right? Ooh, the light not even that birds and it's, oh wait, I need to end it.